Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Shackle 5858. I am Amish Shackle. Following news have been reported by American, European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please, let's go to the headlines.
Tonight there is breaking news right now as we come on from New York City to Philadelphia, Connecticut to central Pennsylvania. The flood rescues already a level 3 out of 4 for dangerous flash flooding at this hour. Tonight more than 50 million Americans under those flood warnings and watches right now. New storms slamming the east. A significant risk, including New York City, rain falling up to 3 to 4 inches an hour. So Ginger Z is standing by with the forecast. Also tonight the images coming in, the horrific fire and the rescues. Firefighters going room to room at a senior facility, breaking down doors to pull seniors out. Tonight, the death toll and the number of injured right here. Also tonight, the horror at the Grand Canyon, the fires tearing through historic parts of the canyon. A lodge known for nearly a century gone tonight, and the stunning images of massive spiraling mix of smoke and flames. The deadly church shooting, authorities say man going in looking for the mother of his children. Instead, police say he opened fire on the pastor's wife and daughter, killing them and shooting others too. Tonight, President Trump trying to quiet a revolt among many of his most devoted supporters amid demands now over the Jeffrey Epstein case. The president defending Attorney General Pam Bondi and why it hasn't been enough and what his supporters are demanding. Tonight in central Texas, the new dangerous flooding hitting right now. Rescues all over again. Searchers still looking for victims from last week have been told to get to higher ground. Tonight, President Trump signaling a seismic shift on Ukraine, deploying new U.S. weapons, and what the president is now saying about Vladimir Putin. Tonight, the flight had chaos erupting on a passenger jet. That jet forced to make an emergency landing in Maine. There is news tonight about NFL legend John Elway after his longtime friend was killed in that golf cart accident. Tonight, you can see and hear Neil Diamond's surprise performance years after revealing his Parkinson's diagnosis. Fans were stunned. And America Strong tonight, the team up at bat, and you will definitely be cheering them on right here with us when you learn where they're from and what it took to get there. From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight. Let this be an omen.
Don't mess with Tom Homan. Our video of the day comes to us from Border Czar and human rock slide, Tom Homan, who destroyed an anti-ICE heckler that interrupted him during his speech. Roll it, Clem.
They're playing the long game. Let's release them in the community. Wait 3 or 5 years. Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member?
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? Bring it. USA!
I like a guy who says pitch.
Right.
He looks like the Thing with a hangover. Which is a compliment.
Yeah.
But the question remained, do they have morons like that all over the country?
They got morons like this all over the country. This guy wouldn't almost like to serve his nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a bomb show agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprised me, you'll have purple hair and a nose ring. Get out of here, you loser. And you're such a badass, meet me off stage in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I guarantee you, he sits down to pee.
There's nothing wrong sitting down to pee. It's the only way some of us can reach the goal. But this is another example of how Trump's messaging does all the heavy lifting of deportation. When Trump said he would deport millions, that incentivized illegals to leave or just stay in their own country. When Trump promotes alligator Alcatraz, that incentivized it even more. Plus, it provides the alligator community with much-needed jobs. When ICE rounds up illegals at a wheat farm, the images go global, encouraging others from not even trying to come here. And Tom Homan, just looking at him, makes you want to board a bus and go to Tijuana. He gives off a vibe that shaving cream is for wussies. He's a walking, talking human version of the Wall. Now compare that to the previous border czar. The only people she put fear into are the bartenders who cut her off. Steve, is he not the perfect man for the job?
Listen, absolutely perfect. He's a complete badass. And, it was like 3 o'clock high. He said, I'll meet you at the final bell, right on the side of the stage here. And there's a thing called old guy strength, which I'm sure he has, right? And we're in the military and law enforcement his entire life. And believe me, he would end up on the top of that showdown if it were to happen. But to your point about deterrence, too, to be serious for a second, that's such a big deal. According to the New York Post, 1 million illegals have self-deported already, right? And counting, right? Every single day. And also we've incentivized self-deportation. But that deterrence effect is so massive.
And the great thing is, people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz amplifies it by saying how horrible the conditions are. Right. Oh my God, they have to poop and
on this Monday night, wildfire smoke clouds the big smoke and beyond. The air quality concerns in parts of Canada.
I try to stay indoors as much as possible.
Plus, the Manitoba City on high alert, flash flooding in the Montreal area, and the vicious storm that hammered Calgary.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Ultimatum, what the U.S. president is threatening if Russia doesn't end its war on Ukraine. Barred from crossing the U.S. border.
I was basically told to turn around.
Why this New Hampshire man is stuck in New Brunswick. Plus, NASA cameras boldly go where they've never gone before.
Oh, like, yes.
What new close-up shots of the sun could teach us Earthlings.
Global National with Donna Friesen.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. A sweltering heat wave in Ontario combined with terrible air quality is causing misery for millions of Canadians, including in the country's largest city. Toronto's skyline is shrouded in wildfire smoke, and alerts have been issued warning people to avoid vigorous outdoor activities. Today, Toronto's air quality ranks among the worst in the world. At one point, it peaked at the second worst overall, just ahead of Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo and just behind Baghdad in Iraq. Here's what's causing it: the smoke drifting from wildfires across the prairies in northwestern Ontario, smothering not only parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba, but further east and into parts of the United States as well. We have complete coverage of the extreme weather from Calgary and from Toronto. Jeff Semple begins our reporting tonight.
This summer day in Canada's largest city brought a double-edged sword. Those looking to escape the extreme heat wave by hitting the pool found themselves breathing in some of the most dangerous air in the world.
It was bad this morning, I know, because these guys were at the park, and it was brutal.
I woke up thinking, oh, the wildfires are back.
Smoke from wildfires burning thousands of kilometers away has settled over Toronto, sparking air quality warnings across the region.
We'll take a look at the Toronto skyline. You would normally have a clear view of the CN Tower from here, but not today. You can see the pollution, you can feel it in your lungs.
Wildfire smoke carries poisonous particulate matter, PM 2.5, that can penetrate deep into our lungs, causing inflammation. The World Health Organization recommends keeping levels below 15. Today's levels in some Toronto neighborhoods reached 132.
This is actually one of the more concentrated hits we've seen with tiny particulate levels over 100 in downtown Toronto, and I think we barely hit that in 2023.
Indeed.
The heart of what it means to be in America.
Starts Thursday 8:30 on ABC TV and ABC iView. Today, the Prime Minister prepares to meet China's President Xi Jinping in Beijing. Donald Trump announces more arms for Ukraine and a peace deal deadline for Vladimir Putin. The Reserve Bank moves to eliminate card surcharges, potentially saving consumers over $1 billion a year. Miraculous Mitch and a bowling blitz. Records tumble in Australia's Test Series finale against the West Indies. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Ross Childs. Those stories in a moment, but first it's been revealed accused child abuser Joshua Dale Brown worked at another 4 centres previously not known about. Victoria Police has just updated the list of centres where Mr Brown worked. Authorities have also updated the dates he worked at for 10 centres that were already listed. Police
GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, Dan. It's a surprise.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Please join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I'm Michael Portillo. This is GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Ben Leo, and this is Patrick Christie's Tonight, late edition and breaking tonight. Oh, dear oh dear. Women's sport's been told ban trans women or face going to court. That's by former Olympic swimmer and GB News regular, in fact, Sharon Davies. Also tonight.
Look, I asked the board directly why nobody had resigned or been fired over the series of failures that we've seen recently.
Oh, it just gets worse and worse for the BBC, doesn't it? That's Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy, who says confidence in the Director General at the Beeb is in question tonight. Really, bit of an understatement after a series of catastrophic failures. And we'll be bringing you a GB News exclusive that suggests the United Kingdom's economy is on the brink of collapse. Who would have thought, in a dramatic return to the 1970s? So, will Sir Keir Starmer have to go to the IMF to beg for a bailout? I'll be asking Anne Widdecombe about that shortly. Meanwhile,
handfuls of middle-class women of a certain age.
Not only has Greg Wallace there saying working class men are now under attack, but the Sun claims tonight that his MasterChef colleague John Turode was asked to resign over the weekend because of a racist remark.
This is Asia Now.
It's 12 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 9:30 in New Delhi, and 11 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Rani Samtani. At this hour, China's economy grows at a slower pace amid rising trade tensions and the prolonged slowdown in the property sector. The country's GDP expanded 5.2% on year in the second quarter. Contentious issues on the agenda as Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese holds face-to-face talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing, including the future of Port Darwin. And Donald Trump warns Russia of new sanctions if no peace deal is reached with Ukraine within the next 50 days. Moscow, though, shrugs off the threat, saying the U.S. president will likely change his mind.
This is DW News, live from Berlin. Donald Trump threatens 100% tariffs on Russia and its trading partners if there's no deal to end the war in Ukraine within 50 days. Speaking alongside NATO head Mark Rutte, the U.S. president voices his disappointment with Russian President Vladimir Putin and announces a deal to supply Ukraine with U.S.-made weapons through NATO. Also on the program, sectarian violence flares in Syria. Dozens die as Druze military clash with Sunni Bedouin groups and government forces, while Israel says it's dropping bombs to protect the Druze religious minority. And Bitcoin soars to a new all-time high, topping $120,000. We'll look at what's fueling Good morning. Well, this and erect.
US President has issued a ultimatum to Vladimir: sign peace deal on Ukraine within 50 days or face 100% tariffs.
Defense Chairman Germany since world amid rising global tensions and search for American support for European security.
Chancellor Rachel Reeves delivers her Mansion House speech tonight, setting out her vision for Britain's financial future. We're going to break down what she might announce and what it means for your wallet.
A couple of stories by the BBC. Director General Tim Davie admits the broadcaster got it wrong over the Gaza film, narrated by the son of a Hamas official. Appropriate behaviour made against him are upheld.
Parents are applying nail polish, bronzer and lip gloss to babies as young as 6 months old, begging the question, should there be age restrictions on makeup? A bit of a change to what we've become used to recently, with some heavy rain and strong winds today. I'll have the details about where's going to be most affected coming up.
Hello there, very good to see you. However you're watching, however you're listening on this Tuesday morning, I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Nana Akwe, and this is GB News Breakfast.
And on France 24 programmes.
Paul Rees, one of the 200 France 24 correspondents around the world.
US-made weapons to be sent to Ukraine, paid for by EU countries. We'll be talking to Dave Keating in Brussels. Israel carries out airstrikes on tanks in southern Syria following clashes between Bedouin and Druze minorities in the city of Sweden, which have left nearly 100 people dead. Defense Minister Israel Katz says Israel will not allow the Druze to be harmed, and also warned against the Syrian government maintaining a military presence in south of Damascus. Noga Tranopolsky in Jerusalem will be joining us shortly. Authorities call for calm after a third
Hello everyone, good morning. It's 6 o'clock on today's show. President Donald Trump lays down an ultimatum to Putin, thus a pledge to sweep away red tape from the Chancellor ahead of a key speech later today. It's Tuesday, the 15th of July. Donald Trump plans to supply Ukraine with offensive weapons and gives Vladimir Putin a deadline for it.
So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple.
Elsewhere, MasterChef presenter John Turrode said racist Latvian upheld, but it's all part of the report into Greg Wallace's behaviour. Reform is on the march but struggling to attract women. Could their new plan targeting controversial issues change that? I think they're talking about these issues because these are big issues. You don't see it as a political opportunity. Well, look, an issue in politics is a political opportunity. A new milestone for the world's biggest human imaging project based right here in the UK, and how it could transform dementia research.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa suspends police chief Senzo Tribune following claims of corruption. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa suspends police chief Senzo Tribune following explosive claims from top police general Nhlanga Mkhwanazi, accusing Mchunu and Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya of meddling in sensitive investigations and colluding with criminal syndicates.
In order for the Commission to execute its functions effectively, I have decided to put the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, on leave of absence with immediate effect. The Minister has undertaken to give his full cooperation to the Commission to enable it to work properly. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as acting Minister of Police.
Mukwaneze also alleges Michuno and Sabia disbanded a key unit probing political killings linked to criminals.
The Commission will investigate the role of current or former senior officials in certain institutions who may have aided or abetted the alleged criminal activity, or failed to act on credible intelligence or internal warnings, or benefited financially or politically from a syndicate's operations. These institutions are the South African Police Service, the National Prosecuting Authority, State Security Agency, the Judiciary and the Magistracy, and the Metropolitan Police Departments of Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni and Tshwane.
Ramaphosa has faced backlash from opposition parties who have slammed him for placing Michuno on leave instead of firing him outright.
United States President Donald Trump said on Monday that he would punish Russia with tariffs if the war in Ukraine does not end within 50 days. Trump made the announcement during an Oval Office meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia. But we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You call them secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today we're going to talk about something else.
After taking office in January, Trump repeatedly said that Russia was more willing than Ukraine to reach the peace deal. But Russia's relentless onslaught against Ukrainian civilian areas wore down his patience. Trump and Rutte also agreed to a new deal on US weapons. The American president said European allies will buy billions of dollars worth of US military equipment and send them to Ukraine. Cameroon's longtime president Paul Biya announced on Sunday night that he would run for another term in office. The news made the front pages of the capital's newspapers on Monday morning. In Yaoundé, some residents are not surprised and promise to vote for Biya when the time comes. We can only support the president for the October elections, so we are with him. We're going to vote for Paul Biya because he's the best president. Paul Biya has ruled Cameroon for close to 43 years, making him Africa's second longest serving president. In 2008, the country's parliament amended the constitution to remove presidential term limits, allowing him to stay in power.
Mais non, c'est normal. Nous lui avons donné tout le pouvoir.
This is normal. We have given him all the powers, from north to south, from east to west. In other words, all the traditional powers of the entire republic.
Traditionnel de toute la République. À cet effet.
In my opinion, he is a king, and a king always dies in power. A king never resigns, a king never abdicates.
Un roi n'abdique jamais.
At 92 years old, Paul Biya is the continent's oldest leader. On the streets of the capital, some people think he should step down and let younger generations take the lead.
À l'âge de son Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la République,
at the age of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, you usually rest.
La République, en 43 ans, a beaucoup donné au Cameroun.
In 43 years, the President of the Republic has given a lot to Cameroon. He has done a lot. There are things he hasn't been able to do, but at his age, in Africa, among the Bantus, people rest, and the youth come to consult the President of the Republic.
Jeunes viennent se faire consulter par Monsieur le Président de la République.
C'est son ressenti à lui.
That's how he feels. If he feels that at his age and in his position, he still has enough energy to rule Cameroon, good for him. Let him face the elections. The reality of the ballot will tell.
Qu'il affronte les élections, la réalité des urnes le dira.
Presidential hopefuls have until July 21st to declare their candidacy. In the opposition, negotiations are underway to form a coalition that would defeat Paul Biya. The presidential election will take place on October 12th.
Tonight, the deadly fire at an assisted living facility, killing at least 9 patients. Residents hanging out of windows, screaming for help. The intense rescues as fast-spreading flames were trapping seniors and filling the facility with thick smoke. Several dead and 30 more taken to hospitals. The mounting questions tonight about how it all started. A private plane crashing into a Florida neighborhood, a family on board flying back from Turks and Caicos, people rushing out of their own homes to help those trapped in the wreckage. Also tonight, the dangerous inferno near the Grand Canyon. Wildfires exploding near the northern rim. This historic lodge entirely engulfed. One inferno growing nearly 20 times in size in a single day. Parts of the park now shut down. The deadly church shooting in Kentucky, a mother and daughter shot on the day of Sunday service. The chilling words the gunman reportedly said before pulling the trigger. In Washington, President Trump announcing plans to rearm Ukraine and making tariff threats against Russia. What he revealed about his phone calls with Vladimir Putin. Our exclusive with the parents of Idaho murder victim Ethan Chapman. What it was like for them to see Brian Kohberger in court for the first time. The dangerous stunt caught on camera. A teen dying a week ago after subway surfing. Now a group, including 12-year-olds, seen doing the same thing on speeding subway trains. The miracle rescued a paraglider flying directly into power lines and plunging down into the river, somehow surviving. And the good news about an army of volunteers helping this flooded Texas camp reopen. This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Youngis. Good evening, I'm William Brangham. Amna Navaz and Jeff Bennett are away. On the NewsHour tonight, the president promises to send more weapons to Ukraine and threatens Russia with sanctions if no peace deal is made. The former administrator of FEMA discusses the praise and criticism of the federal government's response to the deadly floods in Texas, and how a provision in the Republicans' mega bill could accelerate the shift toward private education.
Their concerns are essentially is that we're providing an incentive for people to leave the public schools and go to untested, unregulated private schools that have, in many cases, very little or even no accountability whatsoever.
Major funding.
Senior citizens trapped in a fire at a Massachusetts assisted living facility.
Many did not make it out.
From the CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening, I'm John Dickerson.
I'm Maurice Dubois.
Just as parents send children to summer camp, assuming they'll be safe, children send parents to assisted living facilities, assuming the same.
But once again, the country is beginning the week with a heartbreaking tragedy. Not children this time, but elderly people.
Not flooding, but fire. Dozens of seniors were trapped last evening in a fire at an assisted living facility south of Boston. At least 9 were killed. Another is in critical condition.
They ranged in age from 61 to 86. Gabriel House is not a nursing home. Assisted living residents generally do not need that level of care, but mobility issues could make escaping a fire difficult.
Its website describes Gabriel House as affordable, with studio apartments going for $2,400 a month, meals included.
Tom Hansen is in Fall River with the latest on the investigation. Tom.
It wasn't just the flames, it was also the smoke. The fire chief here tells us that presented one of the biggest dangers for the people inside. And when you factor in that many of the residents were elderly and disabled, getting out on their own was nearly impossible. About 70 people.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The official death toll in Gaza has topped 58,000, as health officials say over 200 Palestinians were killed over the past 3 days, including at least 28 so far today. On Sunday, an Israeli missile strike killed at least 10 Palestinians, including 6 children, at a water distribution point in Nuseirat refugee camp. 17 others were wounded in the blast. Israel also attacked a market in Gaza City on Sunday, killing at least 17 people. On Saturday, health officials in Gaza reported at least 38 Palestinian aid seekers were killed. Hassan Omran is an ambulance paramedic in Khan Yunis.
Today, more than 150 injuries and more than 20 martyrs around the 8 distribution centers. Most of the gunshot injuries we see are in the head or the torso. The Israeli occupation purposely kills and annihilates people. The occupation uses this policy to carry out mass killings by calling on people to get their daily food.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.